Ohio State, and the best team remains the best team. Nick Saban's Crimson Tide back on top. Mac Jones finished with 5 touchdowns, 3 to the Heisman winner, DeVonta Smith, who was just unguardable, for lack of a better word, until leaving with a hand injury in the second half. So let's start there. Since DeVonta's next stop is the NFL, Brandon, our resident wide receiver, is DeVonta a can't-miss NFL star?
Absolutely, Jenna. If you asked me this 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I would have probably said I need to see more, right? Meaning, when you make that transition from college to the NFL, it's hard. But nowadays, these wide receivers are coming in and impacting the game right away because of flag football, because they have access to Chad Ochocinco's drills that he does in the offseason on YouTube and Instagram, and Odell Beckham Jr. and Stephon Diggs. So absolutely. Who is this guy? This is Torrey Holt. But his savviness, this is Ochocinco and his route running. This is Stephon Diggs and his explosiveness, being able to stop and start, and his agility to shift gears. He's also Devontae Adams from a playmaker standpoint. This dude can do it all. I don't want to put him in a box, but the thing that makes him really special and separates himself from everyone else, Nick, is his humility. This is a superstar. I knew he was special when he called me and he said, Brandon, please connect me with Ocho. I want you two to show me how to be a pro, show me how to be better on the field. I said, kid, I don't know if I can show you how to be better on the field, but I definitely can show you how to take care of your body. I can show you how to play 13, 15 years. This dude is special, Wilds.
All right, so Brandon, my question is, he looks like he's can't-miss prospect, and I hope he succeeds. Why are there so many sneaky great wide receivers who succeed in the NFL? So if he goes super high, here's a list of some guys who went scattered, we'll say. DeVonta was 53 overall. DK was 64 overall.
Yep.
Stephon was 146. Tyreek was 165. Of note, blast from the past, Brandon Marshall was 119 overall. And Hall of Famer Julian Edelman, 232. So I had to put together a pie chart that I wanted you to sort of get your take on. I don't think it's right, but it's just what my gut was. Can we throw up the pie chart? I'm claiming scheme, 45% of it, where you go into the league like, oh, good news, I'm Devontae Adams. I'm with Aaron Rodgers, great. I should probably put that under QB. So blue is QB, 15%, and skill, 40%. What's your take on this? Is this close, or, also full transparency, I texted this to Brandon, pre-show.
Yeah.
You didn't just automatically make a graphic.
No, but look, you know what? You know what I like about your graph, your pie chart, Wilds, is that you have the quarterback position at 15%. A lot of people would make that probably the biggest part of the pie on this chart.
Yeah.
So you got that right. But you missed a few things. You missed mental fitness. So you got to throw that on there. And you also got to throw the Robin. So when you text me this over, I actually fixed it for you, right? So mental fitness. Why did I? And you guys got that. You guys got that lime green on it. That's good. That means mental health awareness. Why is mental fitness big? Because every time we talk about the wide receiver, we talk about them being divas. We talk about them being malcontent. We talk about their reactions to the sideline when things aren't going their way. I was a guy the first part of my career that didn't get this part right. If you are a wide receiver, you got to understand your talent only takes you so far. You're the only position on the field that your success lies in everyone else's hands. So you got to be able to control your emotions. So this is the most important thing. And then you have skill. Skill is important. Obviously, if you can't catch the damn ball, you can't play wide receiver. Then let's go to scheme. If I went to the Wildcat offense, to the Miami Dolphins instead of Mike Shanahan, the West Coast, and being in that type of offense, I probably wouldn't have averaged 100 catches, in my first couple of years. And then the quarterback. Look, a lot of people are like, Brandon, why do you have the quarterback so low? Shouldn't it be 30, 35%? No, I played with 17 quarterbacks. It's about how you work with the quarterback. You don't need the top dog. You don't need a top 5 quarterback to be successful at the wide receiver position. You guys just have to be on the same page. And the last thing, Wilds, is the Robin effect. I call this, you have to have this. My uncle sat me down when I went from running back to wide receiver. He said, Brandon, You're only as good as the guy on the other side. So the Eddie Royals of the world, the Eric Deckers of the world, the Alshon Jeffries of the world. When I'm getting double, correct.
Yeah.
That's right. There you go, Nick.
I got it.
So when I'm on the other side and I'm getting doubled, Nick, I need the guy on the other side to get his job done so they can start giving me more room and I can play one-on-one.
Yep.
So I think this is the correct success pie, Wilds.
So listen, I'm not gonna argue with Brandon's pie. I would be one of the people that would say quarterback should be bigger. I think Brandon's perspective is, I think skill and quarterback on that pie need to, for every receiver, take up 40%. And the fact of the matter is, the more skill you have, the smaller percentage the quarterback matters. So for a guy like Brandon's skill set, I understand why it's like, well, I can succeed with 17 different quarterbacks. But with certain guys like, oh, I don't know, fake Hall of Famer Julian Edelman, he can only succeed with an awesome quarterback. So for Edelman, it's like 2% skill, 38% quarterback. For Brandon, a different way. But I've got a different question, because what we've heard with the draft, the reason running backs don't typically go high as of late, is because, well, you can get a great one in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. And Wilds was kind of alluding to this, but I want to take it a step further, because DeVonta Smith is probably going to be the first wide receiver taken, and he should be. By the way, if people weren't watching last night, that stat line is the first half. He messed up his knuckle in the very beginning of the second half, didn't play. He legitimately could have had a 400-yard, 6-touchdown championship game. But if we look over the last few years, the first few wide receivers taken in the draft are not the guys who would be taken if you had to do it over again. This past year, I'm not saying Ruggs and Judy, 2 Bama guys, by the way, aren't going to be very good, but I think it's fair to say Justin Jefferson, if you had to do it again, would go first, and you could argue Claypool would be the next guy off the board. The previous year, the 2 best receivers, I think, were both the Ole Miss guys, A.J. Brown and D.K. Metcalf. But who were the first wide receivers taken? It's N'Keal Harry and Hollywood Brown. A couple years prior, you had 3 wide receivers, Brandon, go super high. I'm doing it off the top of my head.